fantastic. I'm so excited to hear it.
Hi, thanks for coming in today to talk about William's test scores. We did just recently receive the test scores. You know, last year he took the CST, which stands for California Standards Test. It's part of the STAR test program, which actually has 4 tests, but the CST is the one that William took. The other tests in the program are for students with learning disabilities or linguistic issues. So he took the CST, which is what most students in California public schools take every year. Basically, it tests for English and math for each grade level. So last year he was taking the 5th grade English and math tests. You will see that on his score report, he received a score of 378 for his English test. That's a scaled score, so that's compared to other students throughout the state. That gave him a proficiency level of achievement, so that's very good. In math, he got a 335, which is a little bit lower, and it's just a bit below proficient, so that's something we want to work on, because we want all students to achieve proficiency in all the areas. Now, although he achieved proficiency in English, I want to point out on the back that there is a breakdown of exactly which scores he got in which subject areas, which content areas. So you'll notice he had a high score of 91% in writing, but it went down to a low score of 50% in reading comprehension and vocabulary. So that's something that will help me this year to make instructional planning decisions to support his reading comprehension, so we can bring that up as high as his other scores are in that area. So I will be explicitly teaching him reading comprehension strategies throughout the year to help him understand more of what he reads and retain it and recall it better, and that will help him in that regard. What I'd like you to do is give him more opportunities to read at home. If you can take him to the library a little more often, there's one not far from here. If you can help him in reading, it doesn't always even have to be books. It could be newspapers, comics, internet sources, any kind of reading that will support both his comprehension and his vocabulary. I want to also point out that on the test, there's also the California reading list, and this gives you his score, which says that he should be looking at reading list 4 for grade 6. Now, there's a website address there that you can go to print out the reading list of books that would be appropriate for his reading level. I've actually printed it out for you, so you can take this with you, but this will help him find books when he goes to the library. If you look at grade 6 reading list 4, that will show books, an entire list of books that are not only age appropriate for him, but are the right reading level for him. So he should still make his own choice. He should still look at the ones that are interesting to him and choose ones that he would find interesting. But if he stays with this list, he has a pretty good idea it's going to end up being the right level for him. So that's the best reading list for him to use. And again, this is to help him improve his reading comprehension and his vocabulary. So our goal is proficiency in both areas. He has already achieved proficiency in English, but of course this year, when he's tested, the test is going to be harder because now he'll be tested on 6th grade standards. So we don't want him to stay still where he is. We want him to keep learning. And in fact, we'd love to see him move from proficiency to advanced, which is the highest level. And this is important to him not only because he'll take pride in having a high test score, but next year he would be able to possibly qualify for electives. This year he was not able to get an elective because the low proficiency score that he achieved in math meant that he has 2 hours of math instruction this year, which will help him get up to proficiency this year and give him the extra support he needs. But it does mean that he doesn't qualify for an elective. So if he's able to achieve proficiency in both areas this year, he will be able to qualify for an elective next year. And other instructional decisions like the GATE program or other things that he might want to participate in will be based on test scores. So it's important to him. Also very important to the community. I know every school, you probably have heard this, has an API score, which stands for Academic Performance Index, and that's a score that's calculated by the state every year based on the aggregate of all our student test scores. So as each student raises their test scores, our whole school test score goes up, which gives our community the right to take pride in the good education that's going on in our neighborhood. So our API score here at Joseph George School was about 737 this year. Next year, I know our goal will be more like about 780 or so. So every student improving their CST is going to not only improve their own opportunities for the future, their own educational choices in the future, but will also support the school and will be a cause of pride in the community. So, good. Now, did you have any questions about any of this?
No, that's great.
All right, good. Well, if you have any questions, feel free to call me. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to a great year with William in my class. Thank you.